Hello. This time around, I really want to dive deep into the game design I've been trying to come up with at this point of the game prototype development. So, as you can see, I've got my tiled editor over here. There's a bunch of stuff on it, and just in order to make it more interesting, let me just cut to the actual game. So, as you play it, I immediately want to introduce the player to extreme darkness around. This is a basement type of situation, and it's very dark. And one of the first things I decided to implement was remaining sane in really dark environment. If you've ever been in a basement of some sort alone, it's really unsettling when you sit there in the dark and you become more worried and you start saying stuff like, holy shit, it's so dark. All right, that's cool. So you kind of see that there's a sanity meter over here. Also, the very first thing you see, there's a sort of a switch or a box. This is my very simple representation of a light switch because I want it to be very right in your face. You want to see that this is some mechanism you interact with. The interaction way is very clumsy. You step into the area of the action where you can perform something. All right, so you kind of know you can toggle the lights, and there's a sanity meter going off when the character is very scared. And I want that character to be very. He's got a lot of phobias, all right? So you start to understand that you probably need to find more of hidden things in the dark. So right now you can see that the door is over there, and oh, there's another light, and you kind of believe that, well, you want to get on that other side, and you switch the light on. I know for a fact that I want to go in here. You investigate, running around, and you've got the light on over here. So the moving chair doesn't do anything, but I wanted to make sound and kind of project area of where the enemies can hear it in a very simple manner. I know there's a light over here, so I went right to it. So I expect the future player to, you know, see the guy with the knife and try and go into a bit other direction. And I want to make this light to need some sort of a spare part, which would be right on this table, and you would try and pick the time when to collect the item so that you could kind of repair the switch. So that's one thing. So this guy with the knife has a schedule. I showed that in some other video. And when I step into the area where he can see me, well, let him do the job. Yeah, our character can die of getting stabbed. All right, let's try again. Another thing is, I didn't show that. Since the character has sanity and I don't mind the sanity, well, he just collapses and, well, who knows what will happen. I don't have the screen you died, but that's for the future. All right, so let's do the happy path and just go for it. I know things that I wanna have in the game, so I've got my sanity. That's all fine. I don't trigger the enemy to pursue me. I know that there is a light over here. I expect the player in the future to investigate the dark areas and run around back and forth, trying to search for a switch. And when the light turned on, you kind of get the idea that you can relax in here just for a little while. And there's another table. You could have seen that, and I know for a fact that there is a key trigger of sorts that will open the door. I know there's a shortcut over here. The light is on behind the door. So the door is open now. There's a light. Oh yeah, there's another light you want to have switched on. And then you just run. Bam. And there's some text happening when you are in that area. And yeah, I better run. After we triggered the special place, these things start to move. And yeah, they actually can kill you. And now you are in some other level, which is rather empty because I started to implement it like an hour ago, but all you can have in here is just some. All you do have in here is just some place to run around. And when you replay, yeah, you just go straight to the beginning. Isn't that cool? It almost feels like a game already. So the design choice of having everything dark and having the player be him scared of dark came from realization that if I don't have any limiting factors, then the actual player, the human player, will be kind of bored. You just run around, sprint around, and bypass obstacles. There's no danger, right? But now you have your sanity as a resource. I've been in basements doing repair work. It's a rather unsettling experience, and I wanted that to be reflected in here. So the way I turn on the lights, so there's my smart tile thing. Let me move myself over here. So he's in that tile in, excuse me, in the tile logic I have, and he's got my JSON logic, the library JSON logic configuration that, well, he's got a toggle light instruction, and it goes for the ID of a light source I set up, and this light source ID number 46 happens to be just that, which is really next to a simple tile of lamp. So yeah, and I do have the possibility to control my light source by just having the is on parameters. For example, this light over here has is on turned on, the boolean. Uh, this one, it triggers the very same, so it's number 27, the ID. And when we step into the trigger zone over here, well, I do have a message for the player with ID player, which is my actual player. And I toggle the light 27, simple. And as for this one, it happens to have 36 and 42. And it happens to be this 36 and, of course, 42. Very simple, but very effective. Our character needs to find the switch, run to the light, investigate what's there. There's a light, which is turned on, by the way. So you kind of want to check it out and regain your, not consciousness, but sanity. and bypass that enemy. That's pretty much it. Um, if you would like me to show you the code and explain more, please do leave some comments. I was very I was very glad that my game prototype is kinda becoming closer to a thing you would call a game. Oh yeah, the modeling. I did the modeling myself, of course, and all those assets, man, those are really simple. You kind of see, you really see that those are developer art items. So, for example, let me show you the top-down Blender file. That table was very simple. Yeah, that table is just a cylinder with 12 points around, and yeah, it's not very well aligned. This entire tile set is very flawed. I do have a lot of corpses flying around, but it took me like 3 minutes to model, and the UV texturing was almost automatic. Yeah, it sucks to admit that I don't have the best skills at modeling, but oh yeah, that lamp on a wire is, well, it's the same lamp as here from the architecture assets for the Archimesh. What was the thing? Whatever. And yeah, that lamp was easy to make. Took me like, yeah, also 3 minutes, and just, yeah, a wire sort of thing. It's ugly here, but it's pretty over here, and it's even more pretty when you actually combine it with some sort of lighting. There's some depth issues, but I'm going to disregard this. Anyway, let's get stabbed by this guy. Cool. Actually, I do want to show you one more thing. I want to show you some debug information. Oh. NeoVim app source. If I turn on the debug, so as before, I showed you these waypoints are automatically generated on the fly. Yep. So this table has very stupid collision mesh. I didn't think too much about it, and I'm glad I didn't. All right. So just so that you know, whenever my enemy is about to stab, have you seen the rectangle going off over here? So in the direction of a stabbing animation, whoops, there's a rectangle which technically is a selector from Matter.js in Phaser. And if my character happens to be right inside that um, square, then he will die. That's all there is to it. Nothing comprehensive for a game that literally is about survival in the dark with phobias and stuff. And I do want to have things contribute to losing your sanity. That mechanics is stolen from Penumbra games, like, or was it not Penumbra? Amnesia games. Amnesia? So they have sanity meter, and whenever the player is becoming more and more insane, the vision is becoming more and more blurry, and you've got your sanity meter over here. So this is the healthy brain, a bit more rotten brain, and over here it's just tender. So that's that, and of course, the spiritual influence about the gory, dark basement stuff comes from this evil within game where there's a bunch of guys with knives and zombie-like characters try to kill you. So this is literally from the start of the game. There's a guy on a table and a guy with a knife, and my thing, coincidentally, really does have a guy with a knife walking around another guy on a table. So ideas stolen left and right. So yeah, please do know. Let me know what you want to see next if you do find this interesting. And thanks for sticking to the end. Cheers.